Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, I am now being tutored by Propaganda Buster Tony to be the next President of the United States of America. Therefore, I am going to do my first politically correct program this very evening. And the name of the program is A Chimp in Charge, defined proper by Michael Fazio. And I'm going to explain this from a liberal point of view. According to the liberals, there is no God, therefore, by proxy, we must all be descendants of chimpanzees. This is known throughout the universe by all liberals. It's a genetic defect that's cloned into their genetic structure. If this is in fact the case, and according to liberals, it is in fact the case, because it is part of liberalism, there is in fact no God, and therefore we, all of mankind, are chimp-like in nature. If this is in fact the case, and according to liberals it is, therefore we as human beings are descendants directly of chimpanzees. I think you got it. I'm going to move on now. That being the case, and having been said proper, then therefore we are all chimps. However, as we all know, some chimps are more vertical than others. Therefore, one of us has to take the lead role and become the most vertical chimp. And that honor would be bestowed upon this gentleman. Oh, take the straw out of your nose there. Please, stop snorting money. He snorts money. That particular role in politics and in this period of history falls under the heading of this fella right here named Slum Bozo, who resides out of Chicago. Of course, there are hundreds of other chimps that work with the head chimp, so that there must be a methodology to define which chimp is actually in charge, because everyone eventually knows that the liberals must have the most vertical chimp in charge. And who is able to determine who would be the chimp in charge and which stands most vertical better than anybody else? You guessed it, the Queen of England. And again, at this point you should all have a much greater understanding as to who is actually running America. If there was a question and answer period, it would sound something like this. Question, question, question. Who is running America? Answer, the chimp in charge. Question, if we are all chimps, how do we determine which chimp is in charge? Well, we know because I explained it to you, and it goes under the heading of Things I Know by Mike Fazio, that this is the chimp in charge, and there can be no other. He is the most vertical of all the chimps, and he is the chimp in charge, aka the animal in the White House. Now, moving past that, the chimp that stands most vertical, aka the chimp in charge, is the animal in the White House. Thank you for clearing that up. No problem. But if this is the case, and it is, how do we know that this chimp knows what the right thing to do at all times is, so that he can lead America into the proper path for the New World Order to destroy the economic structure of the United States of America? How do we know? Don't be silly. The chimp in charge doesn't make any decisions on his own. The chimp in charge is directed by a teleprompter that is being controlled by, you guessed it, the Queen of England. Is the Queen of England a chimp? No. The Queen of England is a descendant of a baboon. A colder-blooded species of chimpanzees that have evolved simultaneously and parallel to the chimpanzees on the other half of the world. Well, it would seem to make sense, except that the descendant of the original baboon is a queen. So do we call her Miss Baboon? And the answer is no. Don't be disrespectful to the Queen of England. The Queen of England is known as the baboonette. Ah, so she's a baboonette. Of course she's a baboonette. That's the political correct way to address your elders. That is correct. The chimp in charge, aka the vertical chimp, is under direct control of a baboonette. Question: are you sure? Answer: yes, I'm sure. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. But I have one more question. What is it? Question: is it politically correct to call the chimp in charge, aka the vertical chimp, a puppet of the baboonette? Answer: of course it is, because according to the liberals, there is no God. And when the chimp in charge and the baboonette get together, they will have and generate millions and millions of little baby bomber drones that will eventually take over the planet and destroy all the economies of the world, simultaneously and separately. It doesn't matter. The baby bombers are on the rise. Like a bad moon, like a bad bomber rising. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you know what time it is. It's time for me to get a bigger camera.